what extent have public perceptions of the industry changed in this last year?
You've had basically a doubling of positive reputation for the industry, and that being extraordinarily unique and distinctive versus others, right? In actual numbers, a 23-point rise through December, which is ahead of every other industry. Like health insurance is kind of close, but it's kind of jumped up and down. Pharma is the one industry that's been kind of continually building. In contrast to that, tech, which continues to be the overall score, positive reputation is higher, right? It's actually down substantially. Right, it had a surge for a period, but I think as a contrast point, that's one of the industries that's now been that's really in the crosshairs. Versus pharma seen as much more of a real kind of problem solver, kind of a real hero behind everything that's happening right now, and for many reasons, right? Not just the vaccine itself.
I was going to say, so in terms of those kind of key drivers there, in terms of being seen as a problem solver, could you dig into any more of the detail around that and what you think are the real drivers of that growth and improvement in perception?
Yeah, so I mean, it's certainly the kind of the vaccine is kind of like a core foundation for that. But I think what's almost more important from a kind of broader public perception and from a brand and reputation perspective, it's how they've been doing it in addition to that. So the fact that there's been a very fast and deliberate focus on the vaccine is important. But at the same time, since the very beginning of the pandemic, you could very clearly see the whole industry coming together, all the leading players starting to share a lot of data and really doing things for the public, for frontline healthcare workers in different ways than they've ever been seen through a public lens. But the big piece I would like, the core kind of chunk of that, I would say, is very much that collaboration aspect. It addresses many of the misconceptions or more negative aspects or perceptions people may have the reputation pretty directly, right? Many people often kind of associate it, as being too focused on kind of price or sales, and there's sometimes being questionable marketing practices or things like that, right? Which again, all of those things I think are the facts behind of which many of those are quite questionable. But in general, when you see an industry coming together for kind of the broader good and working together in, again, a very hyper competitive industry, it puts a very new kind of face, very new aperture on what the industry is about. Who are the players who are actually making a difference at pharma companies? What are they doing? And how is that having a bigger impact on science, but really on society?